Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
I saw it the other day. It's great fun.
Oh, good.
What was it like to film? Obviously, you're dealing with quite a young cast, a lot of chaotic scenes.
Yeah, the kids were great. I have to say, you have to give them a lot of credit. One, they're terrific in the movie, but their lives in real life were turned upside down. They're taken from home in a strange city, and they're only allowed to work certain hours, and they're surrounded by adults all the time. And Josh Bailey and little Kyle were just terrific to work with. And for Bette and I have grandchildren, so she doesn't. She has an older daughter who's in her 20s. So her patience with them was a little less than mine. And so we would sort of use that, and balance it out. And so that's when we started singing to them. We started singing old rock and roll songs, and that's how the song ends up there's a song that Bette and I do in the movie. That's how that ended up in the picture.
You mentioned the fact you have grandchildren. How much did you draw on your own experience of raising your children, the relationship you have with your grandchildren?
The movie was born from a real life experience where I had my two granddaughters with us for 6 days while my daughter went away, and it was exhausting. And on the 7th day, I rested, and then they came in and wrote the beginnings of the story for what's become the movie.
Right.
So yeah, it came from, and there's little moments throughout the picture that are little events that happened to me. Like there's a scene in a Chinese restaurant where they have the menu where you can draw on.
Yeah.
And my grandson is drawing, he's just making lines all over the place, going through the lines, but Artie, my character, draws it perfectly and says, look how good it looks. Why don't you do it like me? And my daughter says, no, he's just supposed to use his imagination. And he still doesn't get it. But that's why they have lines. You stay with it. And so I did that. And no, that was a mistake. I still don't understand why it's a mistake, but it's so that there's little things throughout it that are little things that did happen.
Sure.
See, the original writers were a young married couple.
Right.
Lisa and Joey have young kids. So when they wrote the first drafts of the screenplay, they were very good on the kids stuff. And then I was giving it the grandfather stuff. And then when we had a polish, Lowell Gans and Babalu Mandel came in, who were great writers, who I'd worked with on City Slickers, and they wrote Parenthood. Mm-hmm. And now their grandparents themselves. So they gave us some more grandparent kind of point of view. So we really had sort of the core of the movie, old school, new school. So we had Gans Mandel, Lisa and Joey, my point of view, going back and forth until it became the screenplay.
Sure. And how was working with Bette Midler? Have you guys worked together before?
We'd never worked together before. We did one benefit together in 30-something years that I've known her. And we always seemed like a natural that we would have done something, and people assume, you must have. Yeah. Because there's a really nice similarity of us that we seem like we would be a blend to people. And no, so it was great to work with, and it's she's been a giant for a long time. She's unique. She's always herself, and she's always willing to do something dangerous.
And you've got Monsters University coming out next year.
Yeah, June.
Excited about that? Was it fun going back to the
I
Pixar
started
world?
smiling as soon as you say it, because I just saw a good portion of it, and it's quite brilliant. 11 years since we made the first one.
Sure.
And Pixar had the great idea of making it a prequel. So when you meet Mike and Sully, they're 18 years old, and they're in college together, and reluctant roommates. They don't like each other. And they're both members of the geek monster fraternity. And it's their adventures in training to be scary and learning how to be scarers, and how their dreams end up. So this movie ends where the next one basically begins. And it's quite great, I have to say.
You've probably been asked this many times. Oscar nominations coming out next month.
I've never been asked this before. I don't even know what you're going to ask, and I haven't been asked.
Any advice for Seth?
Seth? Oh, I haven't. Yeah, I'm asked that every time someone else does a show. Yeah. Have a good time. Really. I mean, prepare. for different moments in the show. Really watch the breakdown, and it looked like you want to be there.
And will you be presenting? Do you know yet?
No, I won't be. No, when I don't do it, I stay away.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.